Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I'm checking out the OUKITEL WP10 that's available for around $400 online. So this is my first time trying out a rugged smartphone. I've never tried these before, and it has been a while since I've tried an Android smartphone. I switched to iPhone about 2-3 years ago. Anyways, you've got all your specs back here if you want to read it. I'm not really going to go through everything, except mention that this is a massive phone, because it's a 6.67-inch screen, full HD, and it has an 8,000 milliamp hour battery. So this thing is going to be thick. So if we take a look at it, so you've got the phone itself. Put that to the side. Oh wow, yeah, that is big. The quick start guide or user manual, a warranty certificate, and this is the wrong adapter for America or the States. And then the USB Type-C cable, along with a USB to 3.5mm adapter. This thing is massive in size, pretty thick. I can still grip it in one hand, even though my hands were kind of small. The problem lies with the weight. I feel like that might be a problem down the line, but we'll see. On the right side is the volume keys, power button, which is textured so you can differentiate it from the volume keys, fingerprint scanner, and then on the bottom is a SIM tray that has 2 SIM slots. On the left is a SOS button for emergency contacts. Next to it, you can think of it as a shortcut button for your favorite app or to turn on the flashlight. So what the company told me about this orange and magnetic piece on the bottom back is these are going to be for a multi-module support, like a hanging sterilization lamp or some other things. It's still under development, so there's nothing at this time. The rest of the back, it's just kind of a rugged texture, rubberized kind of feel. There is a speaker on the bottom. It's pretty disappointing. It looks disappointing. Then you got the camera on top, a 48 megapixel AI camera with the flash. There's like 4 cameras up here, so it looks promising. Finally, on top is a hole punch camera. Right above it is a speakerphone. Honestly, I think they could have just pushed the camera upwards a little bit and not have like a hole punch there, just because there is some bezel on top. Anyways, setup is pretty simple. I'm not sure if this is new on Android devices or not. There is a consent form you have to sign where it basically says they're going to sell your data. Well, that's what it sounds like to me, at least. The screen is nice and vibrant, and it gets bright enough to use outside in sunlight. I was just out there to take a video and a few pictures. Did not have any problem taking a look at the screen or viewing the screen. Also, out of the box, besides having to update, you also get 118 gigabytes free, minus maybe 100 megabytes because there is an update, and it's just minor bug fixes that I got on mine. Hearing right now is from the front camera, the microphone, and the quality itself. It's broad daylight out, and the camera quality is so-so. I'm not really a big fan of it. Obviously, I'm coming from an iPhone. For mid-range, I guess it's more than acceptable. I mean, take it how you will. The rear camera is pretty disappointing. I expected better from this, to be honest. Though I will say, if anything, the pictures at least look decent. First thing I want to do is a pocket test drop, just to see how it does when I drop it from my pocket. Ooh, okay. It sounded like it. And it looks like this phone, hope nothing broke. So, do we have something here? Nope, you can just scrape it off. There's like no damage at all, no scuff, nothing like that. Pretty nice. Looks like it hit the top here. Yeah, nothing at all. That's quite impressive, actually. Next test I want to do is if I'm holding it in one hand, maybe texting with one hand, and it drops. Whoa, that sounded pretty bad. Let's hope nothing happened. Okay, so it just dropped almost flat on here. Let me just zoom this in. Okay, so you can tell here, nothing. Same with the camera. Is there a dent there? Looking at this a little more closely, it seems like it did scratch the side of the cameras. And actually, this middle part here is a little crack, a very small crack. I don't know if you can see, it's like a little white piece. There's no like long crack around, just a little bit that's there. Surprisingly, the camera still works fine. It didn't get in the way of the camera. I mean, it's not blocking the camera, so it didn't get destroyed or anything. So that drop test just, I don't know, barely passed. just barely past there. But yeah, that's one thing I'm worried about. If it drops flat on the floor, the camera is probably the thing that's going to get damaged first. And that's exactly what happened here, I guess. I'm not going to take too much time on just drop tests, but maybe I'll make a separate video on this if you guys want to see it. This has an IP68 rating, which means if this falls in the water, like let's say an ocean or somewhere, it can survive up to 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes. And obviously I can't test it out anywhere. The only thing I have is this measuring cup, and it doesn't go in all the way, but this should give you a gist that you're going to be fine in most conditions, I would assume. Trying out 5G on this phone doesn't feel like too big of a difference. I mean, it's more than likely going to be noticeable because the speeds are almost doubled when it comes to download speeds. Like for instance, on here I'm reading it's a 28 megabits down, 28.5 to be more specific, and then 12.6 megabit upload speeds versus when I had it on 4G LTE when I just tested it out, it was about 14 megabytes down and around 11.8 megabytes upload speeds. You might hear someone mention about having poor cable management can affect your cooling performance, like it can cause your CPU. You can watch videos at 1080p, Full HD, even at 60 FPS because this is a 60 Hz display or screen. The only downside is the speaker on the bottom, and or in the back, because it doesn't get too loud. It sounds a little tinny. I mean, it's tolerable, I guess, because it's there. I just wish that it had speakers, at least on the side. Front are the best, as always, because there is some space on the bezels. The biggest downside, probably, for this phone that I've noticed so far is that it has a wideband security L3. L3 means that your videos that you want to watch on Netflix or Amazon Prime Video are going to be capped at 540p. In other words, you can't watch videos at Full HD 1080p on those platforms. And if you do plan to do that, then this might be a deal breaker. And another downside is that I cannot even run a Geekbench score or a benchmark performance to see how it performs compared to other devices. 3D Mark does work, and I have tried it out, and this is the score it normally gets. If you're familiar with it, I'm not. I normally use Antutu or Geekbench, but Antutu is not even on the Play Store to download. But where it does redeem itself is in performance, because everything so far that I've been doing, especially basic tasks, have been smooth. No problems whatsoever. There's about no delay, little to no delay, actually none that I've noticed, to be more specific. First game here is PUBG Mobile. The graphics are set to as high as I can make it. I'm not sure if there's anything else I should add. So far, performance seems to be pretty well on here. It runs pretty good, no major issues. I do notice a stutter here or there, nothing major that would affect your gameplay performance. And of course this is based on a match that I played before recording, and I don't know why, but for some reason when I was in combat, my camera just stopped recording. Next game here is Genshin Impact. And I do notice some stutters here and there, some more frame rate drops. It is playable though, surprisingly. This thing just powers through it all. I also did try RuneScape, and I wish I could show you RuneScape, but it doesn't seem to load on here for some reason. I do have some trouble every now and then trying to load the game. Not old school RuneScape, that'll work just fine, but the new one. And surprisingly, that did run pretty well too. No major lag or anything. The most important thing about getting this phone, or one of the most important things, is the battery life. Now, I haven't tested it out thoroughly, of course, because this is more of an unboxing and overview video. And battery life seems to be pretty good. No, I remember having this on for like 5 days, no problems. Granted, I didn't use them for all 5 days. I think I used it more so like 2 or 3. I didn't do anything too crazy on here. But I did charge this up in the morning time, and I am getting... my battery life is 89%. Not sure if you can see that there. So 89% compared to what it was maybe 6 hours ago now. And unfortunately, when I try to look for the on-screen time just to see what it's like, or how long it's lasted to be more precise, I can't seem to find it in the settings anywhere. Overall, I think this phone is pretty good. It has a lot of potential here. The battery life is pretty long, and that's one thing that I've been looking for in a smartphone, because the iPhone battery doesn't last that long, unfortunately. I mean, granted, it is a small battery capacity in those iPhones, and they are kind of well optimized. I digress though, this is about Android, not iPhones. But long term, I want to see if this could replace my iPhone. So Of course, if you guys want to see a full review video, let me know in the comments down below. Either way, I'll have an update video coming up in a few weeks, maybe a month or two, so be sure to subscribe for that. And at the time of this video, the only other thing that I can tell you to check out is the Ulefone 10. That's the only one that's around the same price as this that I know of at the time of this video. It's also a rugged Android phone with 5G. Of course, I haven't tested it out, so I can't recommend that over this. But again, that's the only other one that I know worth checking out if you're in the market for this, just for comparisons. So anyways, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. Please do leave a like if it did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.